Okay. Now I'm calling even harder calling to order the meeting of the Clintonville Area Commission Zoning and Variance Committee. It's 7:02. Can you turn the volume? Maybe, oh, I know what to do. Turn the volume down on my phone. That might work. Okay. Now does it work? Yep. Okay. Then we put it back, arrange it the way we had it. Because what happens is this microphone that's basically the speaker and microphone for my phone. Keep that towards the public so when they speak. Okay, good. The first thing is, are there any objections? Oh, first note that Boyer, Michael Haw, and Diane Heford all have excused absences. The agenda.
I'm here.
Oh, I'm sorry. Doug is taking the notes. Jason Hidmani is the one who has excused absence. It's been a long couple days, couple months. Do you have any objections to the agenda? If not, it's approved without objection. The next item on the agenda is last month's, 2 months ago, the draft minutes that were circulated, linked to in the agenda. Does anyone have any corrections? Okay, I'll give a motion to approve.
So moved.
Second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Abstentions? The chair votes yes, that's 6 to nothing. Approved 6 to nothing. So we're going to move on to the variance agenda, and just so folks know, the way we do this is, first, if you come here to comment, I promise you will get your chance to comment. So please wait till you get called. Everyone will get at least 3 minutes. We will have a presentation by the applicant. Then if the district commissioner would like to give a report, she can. Basically, the district commissioner can ask to be recognized anytime she wants. She can actually join the committee if she wants to. That's in the minutes that she's an ex officio member of the committee on this, for the zoning matter. But then we will have questions from the committee after the district report, and only when the committee is done asking questions, and then we will do public comment. Everyone will get 1 shot, and then I will ask the applicant to respond. So, and I'd ask you to take notes, and then don't respond individually. Take notes and respond at one thing at the end. Because the city wants us to maintain a sense of decorum, and we want to stay focused on the variances. And I'd ask that all comments be directed to the variances before the committee, which are, this is BZA 2510. Oh, by the way, after public comment, it comes back to the committee. I put a motion on the floor and we discuss and then vote. Let's see, BZA 25101, 43 Piedmont Avenue. The applicant seeks variances to increase the height of a detached garage from 15 to 21 feet, increase square footage from 720 to 1,010, and to reduce from 20 feet to 18 feet the maneuvering for the west portion of the garage. I noted that, just so folks know what I mean by the staff report. The staff report is what city staff prepare. They're the professionals, zoning professionals, planning professionals, and there are basically two tracks of advice to BZA. It makes the final decision, building and zoning authority, I believe it is. Building and zoning authority. They make the final decision on whether to approve or deny the variances. On one of the tracks, we go through this committee to the commission. The commission makes the formal recommendation is the formal voice of the committee to BZA. The staff report is the professional in-house voice to the city. And these are 2 separate tracks. We don't have to rely on what they say, and the city staff doesn't rely on what we say. But that's why I put it up there. That's not anyone from the commission who made that recommendation. That's what the professional city staff said, and I pulled it off of the county's website, of the city's website. Just to note that I did send out notices, and to everyone on the mailing labels I received. I was included, and I received mine last Friday. I sent them out timely last Wednesday morning, a week ago today. So, without any further ado, it's the applicant's. Please give your name and you have the floor. I'll put up any part of your application that you want to have.
Stand up or just sit down?
You can stand up or sit down as long as whatever makes you feel
All right, that's
comfortable.
fine.
We want people to feel comfortable giving you
All
that.
right. So, good evening. My name is Variance. We're here, just my family and I live at 483 Piedmont Road. The reason we're here is just because we would like to expand our garage and store our camper van and provide storage above the garage. Variances, as discussed, were, increase the height, make the square footage bigger than what the 720, and then the recommended, the zoning plan committee recommended at least to add the variance for the maneuvering from 20 to 18 feet because of on the west side of the garage. The problem, thing is, for the last one, we didn't catch it, but there's like a little patio and there's a wall and it's about 18 feet from where we're proposing the garage, 18 feet. So that's why the zoning committee suggested just to add that variance to the committee. So just to kind of discuss the plan, as you see on the right top corner, the original garage is about 24 by 24. We're planning to expand west towards Chris's and Doug's home, and then actually expand 4 feet on the original garage just so we can fit the van. The van is it's a full size Ford Transit. It's a high top, so we do need a high garage and longer garage. So it will be at the end, if this proposed goes through, it'd be three bay garage, pretty much three vehicles. And above the 2-car garage, if you see on the lower right, above the 2-car garage, there'll be storage above for any of the stuff we have for the kids and Christmas and all that stuff. Yes, if you want. So that's the plan. Then if you go to the next page for the elevation.
Let's see if I can get this up here when it's twisted, not when it's.
So.
Sorry about that. I think I can get this up here so that so that you can see it better. So it's
Yeah.
there. I can. Which one do you want? This one?
Yeah, the elevation drawing would be fine. So that's the plan right now that the architect and myself, we kind of discussed. Like I said, the one with the van will be on the right side. It'll be close to 21 feet, 20 feet, 9 inches. The west side will be about 19 and 8 feet tall. The little windows on top, they're just the dormer, but there's no utilities, nothing up there. It's just going to be for storage, and then most of that's going to be just for lighting up there. On the east side, east elevation, you see just kind of just plain, and on the back side, it's more of a slant for the back neighbors, kind of ease or smooth that transition from the back, so it won't be too. I guess the architect used too strong on the back side, so he just made it where it's a little smoother on the back. That's all I have right now on the elevations.
Do you have anything else you want?
Right now, as far as going around discussing, I know this might be asked by the committee or commission, would be like, have I spoken to neighbors? So far, when I went there, I talked about to 16 out of my 20 neighbors. I actually personally talked to them, and I even had a kind of demonstration at my place to kind of just laid out the line where it would be proposed. and had a couple people look at it just to kind of get an idea of what the plan would be. So that's something that I kind of did just so they could at least see the size of it and then get some of their feedback. We didn't get much feedback from a couple, but most of the neighbors that were around, I would say probably like 90% would say that they were okay with the actual proposal. And then we have a few that were a little bit kind of hesitant of the size and the proportions of the garage. So I did ask them if they had any concerns, they're more welcome to the meeting and voice their opinion, and then we can take those into consideration with my architect. So.
People who sent me emails about it are here, so I'll let them speak for themselves.
Yes.
It's their turn. Do you have anything else you'd like to say?
I think that's it right now. We'll just see what the questions are and see what we can answer. So, appreciate it. Thank you.
To give a district report.
Sure, Angela Sasser, District 4 Commissioner. I got reach out from a couple of neighbors that live close to the applicant. Both of them live right next door. They might be here today to provide their own comments, but essentially just to summarize their concerns. One has to do with being very close to their property line, about 5 feet away this new structure would be, and junipers could get damaged. And then the other concern was more on the height of the overall structure, hoping that maybe it could be a little lower than what it currently is.
Okay, so just get any questions from the committee?
You said there were no utilities home? Well, electric, but no sewer line or water line?
Well, the sewer line, I talked to the planner, and I did have locate my sewer line located, and I did talk to Mr. Walker, Walker from the utility division. He said that it was okay, and I think he put a comment on there that it was that no concern. He said the only thing he suggested was to have the owners locate their plumbing, because if they're digging, they don't want to have any issues with, breakage of lines, and then the utility, especially with our sewer line going in the backyard between the neighbors. He said just make sure that you're aware that there's kind of like couldn't find the easement document in the back, but he said we would like to at least make sure that you're aware that there's a sewer line back there, and we don't want any structure above it.
So are you tapping into that sewer line?
No, we're not tapping.
So you're not tapping into it?
No.
You just saw where it was laid,
Yes.
just for building purposes?
Yes.
Can I ask you, are there any trees that are going to be damaged by this? And if so, what are your mitigations?
On the proposal, if you go to the image page before, one on the right, so where we're expanding the garage expansion, there are no trees there. So the only ones that I think my neighbor is concerned is the junipers that are apparently right now. I did catch this error by my architect. It says 49 feet, but it's actually 50 feet. So that 5 foot 3 inches will be close to 6 feet away from my property line. The trees I actually measured where the proposal is to the actual tree trunks is approximately 8 feet away. So the wall, the east wall will be about 8 feet from the tree trunks. There will be some branches that are overhanging on my property that will need to be trimmed back. So if I do get that wall, it won't damage the wall. So they will need to be trimmed back, at least so they won't damage the wall.
I thought they said there's one other question you should expect, and I can't remember what it was, so I will. Yeah, go ahead.
So you were saying that the neighbors expressed concern in terms of the height and distance from the property line, but did they give any different suggestion in terms of specifics?
Great question. The one that I know can't be here today had several suggestions. So one was if two of the bays could be brought back down to their original 12 feet height or add 3 more feet to stay under the current zoning allowance. So they were saying, does the whole thing have to be as tall? So maybe bringing 2 of the bays down could be helpful. And then the other concern with the height, just to go on, has to do with while this applicant wants to use the second floor for storage, they're concerned for future owners may turn that into like living space. So there's that concern with that as well.
Could you go to the elevations so we could get a little bit of clarity on that? So when you say the additional, but they have the bay like for the for your
The storage and the dormers, you mean, the
yeah
dormer windows?
where the dormers are, is that where they want it to be lower?
That's what I would assume that they were.
So that's the part that they would like to remain at 12 feet, and that is the existing height?
Yep, the original 12-foot height is what this person has in there.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. On the original one.
Okay. And so, and the main concern being that they have that additional height, that the next step is to go to that auxiliary dwelling unit.
I'm gonna just, Brendan, I'll let when the person who says these comes, I'll let them go through, actually, these, okay. Thought I could get the photos up easily. Oh, that's not, there we go. This, is that, let's see, do you know, that's your current garage?
Yes,
And it's expanding towards this,
yes. Through,
and that stake is that stake, what's that stake?
that is representing, that's the one I had a show and tell with my neighbors of where the garage would be extending to. So I marked it to actually show my neighbors that this is how far we're going, this is how far we're going, will be away from the fence. If you see, there's the, I put a little line or just to kind of show the perimeter of the building.
So that's your neighbor, that's the neighbor's fence and this
That's
is.
our fence, actually.
That's the fence between the properties.
Yes.
And it'll extend to here.
Yes, and from there to there, it's actually approximately 6 feet. And then to the junipers that our neighbors are concerned is actually 8 feet from the perimeter, outside perimeter of the building to the actual trunk. I measured it yesterday, so it's about approximately 8 feet.
Not the center of the trunk, so the edge of
The edge of the tree.
Now, on your house, you have a sunroom on the east side, right?
Yes.
How far is that sunroom from the property line?
Have that actual dimensions.
Because on your sketch, it looks like it's pretty similar.
The like
It's existing, right?
yeah. Yeah, I would say
And you don't need a side yard variance, right?
Excuse me?
You do not need a side yard variance.
No.
Yeah, if you go back there, I mean, look at the house in that,
On the bottom of the picture, that's the sunroom. It kind of lines up with where the garage is kind of expanded to.
Yeah, so like you were saying, the existing paver, it's about what, from the existing garage to the current house is about 35 feet. And then I would say it's probably another 20, maybe 20 feet from the garage, should be about 55 feet or so from the garage to the sunroom. I don't have the exact dimensions, but.
No, I was looking from the sunroom to the property.
Oh, okay,
That
yeah.
distance. It seems similar to the garage expansion.
Yes.
to the seats.
Yes.
That's all.
Wow, back. Thank you.
No, they said you're fine in terms of using the percentage of your backyard.
I did not hear anything back from the zoning committee on that, unless there's something that we missed. But
They're probably more likely to get, if they didn't say it, they're more likely to, it's more likely that they're, a lot more likely that they're right than anything else. Anyone, other questions from the committee? Okay, good. Everyone will get one chance to speak, and please give your name, and if you're an immediate neighbor, and the street you live on, and if you're an immediate neighbor, you can say which side of the house you're on, that would be helpful. I'm gonna go, since I know that people are here to speak, I'm gonna just go start over here and go across the front row, and then the second row, and then, so I'll start with you, ma'am.
Chris Mundell, I live on the east side of the property. And the juniper trees, that I'm not so concerned to the trunk of the tree as the root system, because I would like to know where the sewer line's gonna go. Because originally I thought it was in the cement part of the existing garage. So when I talked to Ruth, my husband and I talked to Ruth, he said it could go along the parallel the property line towards the back, and our sewer line, which we had fixed in 2011, is pretty close to the junipers. So my concern is that digging that far deep, because we had to have it dug 8 feet deep. And it actually took out a large root on a Norway maple that killed it. So, and the people warned us that would happen, the people doing the work. So that was my concern on the junipers, that if the sewer line went parallel to the property line and the fence, that it would affect the roots of the trees and kill them. And if that was a situation, you know, who would pay for that if they're killed by a sewer? So I would like to know actually where the sewer line is currently located and where it's being switched to.
Okay, take that.
So that's my concern, and I already sent something to you about the application had in it whether the variance is substantial, and I think it's substantial, but I don't know what the formal definition is for substantial, because going two levels up, so it's a 2-story house or 2-story garage, but the original application was for a garage. It didn't say anything about going up or storage or any of that stuff. So the original application didn't say any of that. And another question on the application said whether the essential character of the neighborhood would be substantially altered, or whether adjoining properties would suffer a substantial detriment as a result of excuse me, variance. So we don't know if property values would be affected based on having this huge structure with very little green space in the backyard. So I guess it's an opinion if you think if anything would be substantially affected by the neighbors. Also, the sewer line moving, I would like an answer to that sewer line before, and I was told that that doesn't happen till the building permits are pulled, so that would be next year. And I just don't understand why it's not in this zoning thing, that if there's a sewer line issue. The other thing is whether the property owner's predicament feasibly can be obviated through some method other than variance, and it can be, but because of the storage in the second level, because the van isn't as high as the roof would be pitched in the storage area, so I don't understand why it has to be bigger if you can feasibly do it without having those needed structure, two-level structure. So that's one of the concerns I have. And whether the spirit and intent behind the zoning requirement would be observed and substantial justice done by granting the variance. I'm not sure about that. If in the previous statement about some other method than a variance is involved in that one. Let's see. To increase the height of the detached accessory building from 12 feet to 20 feet, so that's 8 feet higher, and I don't understand why it has to go that high. Because the van size isn't like 10 feet high or something like that. The original garage was a 2.5 car garage, and I think since it's 12 feet, which isn't enough for the van, why couldn't you just go up instead of going out? I mean, I realize the two bays in that one with the one garage door, but does it have to be that big and have a stairway up to the second floor? Which, you know, I wonder if the house is sold in the future or we're still there, what would the next owners do if they have all that laid out for them to do something with it? So that's my question. And the maximum height for a detached garage is 15 feet. So this is 21 needed for the variance. So that's, and it's also attached garage may occupy up to 45% of the total. So is that over 40? Who figures that out? And can we find out?
The planning figures that out. The people of the city, the planning process.
Because I talked to the Adam Trimmer, and he said that the CAC, the zoning and the Clintonville people do it. And I'm like, but there's a, like you said, a parallel group called the facility or something like that. There's another group other than what the group that Adam Trimmer's in that figures this out, I guess, or would figure it out. But is there any way to get that information?
You can, I'll just enter. You can go to the city's citizen portal and you can, and let me just see if I can pull this. And you can get, the city did say that he has to stay out of the sewers.
I'm sorry, I didn't get that one.
Yeah, I'm going to show you what you can get on. I'm going to show folks what you can get on the. It's down here. What you can get on the city's website. Smaller. And you can go through. You can see all the cities. This is the city's citizen portal, they call it. And you can go through and see what. Like here's what sanitary said. Proposed addition shall remain outside the sanitary sewer easement. Applicant should review exact location of sanitary sewer running through the backyard and relocate. Water, and they go, some things there is no comment yet, but you can look here.
But how do I interpret that in terms of what, in relation to paralleling my sewer line? And is it gonna go in that 5 to 6 feet area? Because I actually measured that, and it's 5 to 6 feet. It's not exactly 6 feet.
I'll let him answer that when it's his
But
turn.
yeah, if you know any more on the sewer line, I'd really be interested.
And if you could please wrap it up so that other people.
Yeah, yeah, and that's, oh, it says no more than 50% of the lot may be covered by building structures. That's the other question I had.
Well, if he violates that and doesn't have a variance, then he's in trouble with the city.
Okay,
That's-
so it's
that's-
the city.
That's,
Okay, that's,
so, I'll just leave it.
yeah.
Hi everybody, my name is Martin Kong. I'm the next door neighbor as well on the west side for 75 Piedmont. My spouse and me own the house next door. Let me just add many of the concerns that Chris mentioned. We share a driveway. It's a true shared driveway, it's not a double driveway. We actually have to keep the cars apart, not park it in there. I wanted to clarify something that Ruben mentioned regarding, I think, 90% of the neighbors being okay. I don't have the exact count of the neighbors that the application requires talking to, but I believe that 6 households share the concerns that Tim sent in that email or letter to Angela. So I believe that's not 10%. I think that's closer to 30 or 40% of the roughly 18 houses surrounding in Piedmont and Dunedin. The garage looks kind of big, and we have no real objection to that. But our concern is really that if not necessarily them, the next owner at some point may use it as a dwelling. And that's a real concern we have. Other comment I have is we do feel that the garage really goes a little bit out of character relative to the older garages in the Piedmont side. That's why the sheer size. But everybody has the right to build and use their space in there this way. I think that's basically. I share many other concerns that Chris mentioned.
Thank you.
Thanks.
I'm Doug Perkins, the husband of Chris Mendel. Chris and I have talked about the items that she brought up. I concur. The biggest item for me is concern about issues with the sewer.
Can you talk a little louder?
You said this-
Talk a little louder.
Oh, I said the biggest concern I had was issues with the sewer. If that becomes an issue, it's a problem.
Could you state your last name again? I apologize.
Perkins,
Perkins. Thank you.
Pancake House. That's all I have.
Thank you. Do you want to comment?
I don't have any comment.
Oh, sorry. Ms.
Hi, I'm Alicia Griffin. I live 2 houses to the west of Ruben. I also share the same concerns in terms of the size, the height just seems a little excessive. I feel like the size would be better on maybe a double lot or a lot on North Broadway, something like that, but this is just 50 feet wide. And I also share concerns about a future owner turning this into some kind of rental or living space, and I don't know, the process for rental or things like that, but I am concerned that could come up.
Thank you. Sir? Yes. Would you like to comment? You don't have to comment if you don't want to.
I don't want to comment.
I just want to make sure I don't skip anyone. Ms. Sembro.
Good evening, sir. This one is, again, paved paradise with parking lot. First of all, on the drawings, you'll notice that the address is wrong. It's listed as 843 instead of 483 on the drawings. And the choice, when it says, can this be alleviated other means, the choice to own the van is the choice of the property owner. Being owners of a motorhome myself, and knowing that I cannot bring it into Clintondale, let alone in my driveway, I get confused over, he refers to the east side and the west side. keeps referring to the west side, but the additional garage space is actually on the east side, is that correct? And,
Where's I think that's north, so.
okay, and matching the pitch of the house makes sense, but, as someone else said earlier, you could take the 2.5 car garage, match the pitch with the house, make it architecturally compatible, have a higher garage door, and you can get the van in. Because otherwise, it looks like there is almost no green space left, but there's 7 feet behind the garage, 3 feet, or 5 feet beside, and, again, because of personal experience, I can tell you that looks like my backyard, but I have a front yard. But with the paved patio and the pavement and the shared driveway, that's a lot of turning on that space. So I have real concerns with this. I appreciate the request, but to basically pave the whole backyard is reminiscent of the Kenworth request last month, or month before last.
Thank you. Would you like to speak?
Yeah, I am Beth Mahler. I live catty corner across the street. I just wanted clarification that there's not going to be any utilities in the extra space above. Was that what I heard? So like no.
He'll answer when he gets his turn.
And then if that answer is correct, so down the road, like if somebody wanted to add all that, would they have to go through another variance? Is what was my question. If they wanted to add, or is that once it's built, they can add or do whatever they want?
I'd say under current law, they would have to come back and if they wanted to use it for habitable space. What the city will do with zoning laws 10 years from now, 5 years from now, no one can promise you.
But like the immediate future, like
Immediate
right now.
future, they would have to they'd have to go back for they have to go to city council, not just BZA, to be able to have someone live there.
And add like water and sewer and all that. Okay.
At least, the city draws the line in weird shifting ways, but to have someone live there, they need to get a council variance. I think there's someone in the very back. Did you want to speak?
Oh, I'm the wife, so I'll let him speak. I mean, I could hear comments out there, but I'm gonna let him talk so I don't interfere with what he has to say.
Okay. Cool.
There's a little person next to her.
The kids have done very well, but even if they make noise, we all understand kids make noise. So, okay. Does everyone who wanted to have a say have their chance? Okay, now the floor's back to you.
Okay. So appreciate everyone's concerns. I know I did talk to most of the people and around the 125-foot radius that's recommended through the application. I did talk to most of the neighbors, and I did ask them if they had any issues, please voice it, and I would take those into consideration. So now I'm hearing them for most of the first time, so they were not discussed there when we had a show and tell at the property. But to Chris's and Doug's question about the sewer line right now, when you showed it on the portal that Mr. Walker did say that locate and relocate if needed. And then I did actually email him and called him to clarify that statement. He did say that the main purpose of that was that he just wanted to make sure that the owners knew where the line was, because a lot of times the owners, when they start digging, they don't know where it's at, and they can cause interruption with the sewer line. So I was able to locate. I actually hired somebody to locate my line, and it's not on this drawing. It's on the one that I sent to Adam with the revised sewer line location. It actually, the line currently goes to about the corner of the building of the house, and it goes kind
Why don't you go, see, you can come
Yeah.
and stand next to it.
Yeah. So.
And also explain how this project would affect that.
So, right now, the sewer line comes out from right here, and it goes this way, towards, so it goes about here, and it's about 2 feet from the property line where we located. And Mr. Walker did actually provide me a layout of the sewer lines, and Chris's line actually goes somewhere on this corner over here, on the one that she said she had replaced. So right now, what we're thinking is keeping the line on the same location. We're not thinking of relocating anything on the sewer line. We're just going to go ahead and keep the same. And no routing over to the line on this side where she's concerned about the roots juniper. So we won't be digging here. It might be digging for the footing, and that's, I don't know, it's like 36 inches deep, roughly. So I'm not sure how deep those roots are. I'm not an arborist, so I don't know how deep these roots go on the junipers or how shallow they are, but we won't be digging on this besides the footing on this side. So that's it. The sewer line's sits there, and it's gonna stay there. So I guess that answers Chris's question.
Yeah, that's perfect.
So like I said, let me get back to the questions, sorry. Like I said, the application, like she said, it does say that we're expanding, and it's storage above the second floor on the main purpose of the statement. Like I said, when I attached this application, the drawings were attached, the elevations were there. So it was part of the application to visually see when I submitted it. So if that's something that she did not interpret it correctly as the drawings with the purpose, I did not go into very detail on the purpose. I'm not sure if I was just supposed to just write a statement and then kind of work through it. But we did, the drawings and the plans were attached to the application when submitted. So the addition, like I said, the layout for future, I'm not sure, like you said, we're planning to stay there for a while, so like I said, I can't control the future. If somebody decides to buy the house and try to renovate it, but I know there are some concerns about the dwelling, and like Stephen said, that there is a counseling variance application if they want to submit for a dwelling in the back. And that is a separate application, a separate process that compared to the BCA. So they would have to go through that process to get that, and they would have to go through the same counseling for the city and the neighbors probably to make sure. So that is something that is not, if the building is there, it's not going to be automatically, a dwelling there. They still have to go through the whole process. If not, like Stephen said, they'll get in trouble, or we'll get in trouble too if we decide to make it into a dwelling. Utilities, as far as thefts, there will not be utilities besides the electricity for the garage to open the door and close the door, and just have the basic, just electricity. We do have an electric vehicle, and that's where we charge it. We have a charger in the garage. So the utilities there, just gotta make branching off for the necessary utilities. So, and then I guess that answers Beth's question about the variance, about the dwelling. So, let's see, Mr. Martin calling about the shared driveway. Yes, we do share the driveway, but like to say, the thing is they're not separated, and we do have different garage. Between garage door, it's roughly around 4 feet, like from wall to wall, in between both garages. But we do have, it does, you can see where they kind of split. in the garage. You go to that drawing, the plan, site plan, page number 3 or 6, yeah. That's it, right there. So you kind of tell, like if you scroll down where the garage, the original garage, sorry. So that's where it kind of splits. It's about, right now it's about 4 feet between my garage and the property line, and then the property line to Martin's garage, it's about another 2 or 3 feet. I don't know
Would you
exactly.
go up and point to what you're referring to?
Yeah. So currently, our driveway's here, and then we use our driveway. This is kind of like the existing asphalt that we have. It goes to our garage, and then this goes on this side. So from here to the property line is about 4.3 inches. And then from there to the actual garage with Martin's garage, it's about 2 to 3 feet. I'm not sure the exact number, but it's been there since, I think at least our garage was built 1985. But yeah, that's, like I said, we do share the driveway here, but from here we kind of split into our own garages. So that's on that. And just to answer, there are some mistakes, and I did catch those. I am having them red pen to my architect to update the address. And then, like I said, mentioned here before, he has 49 feet here, where it should be 50 feet on the survey. I did the survey completed. And then here he did shorten it by 1 feet to 150 feet. So I do have those corrected, and I believe I submitted them to Adam.
And for anyone, the emails I sent out, Brittany Bolton is the chair of the commission. If you want something to be shown during the commission meeting, email it to her. I'm sure the additional drawings are one of the things. Any additional drawings you have, the commission would be interested in seeing. But send it to Brittany Bolton and CC your commissioner. So actually CC me too, since I'll be doing a presentation. But Brittany Bolton is the one whose computer is hooked up to the screen at the meeting. And you can also, I believe, bring a thumb drive with you, and she can accommodate that.
So, like I said, I know the other concern that Con had, saying with the next future homeowners. I said I can't control that if we decide to move out or sell, or even if. So I can't control that on that. And he said about it's out of character. Yes, our garage, the proposal right now is it's bigger and taller, higher than many of the garages in Clintonville. Many of the garages that we walk through our neighborhood, there is a combination of small ones, one car garage, 2-car garage, 3-car garage. Some of them are tall, but they're a little narrow, small. And then some of the ones that are big, they're kind of attached to the house and hidden behind the house. So in our case, it would be majority, about 80% of the garage would be behind the existing house. If you see from the street, about approximately 20% of the garage would be seen from the front if you see it straight ahead. I know it is a little tall, and that is why if they have a specified or a height, I'm willing to consider that and talk to my architect and see what we can work with and see what we, like I said, I'm not opposed of taking anybody's opinion, but I will consider those and then work to make it a little bit more pleased for the neighbors. So, and as far as speaking to neighbors, at least from the 6 neighbors that Martin mentioned, I do have a list of all the neighbors that I spoke to, And I did get to know a lot of the neighbors doing this. And most of them, at least, they were saying that they're okay. And I was very transparent. I showed them the plan, I showed them the garage elevation, and many of them were actually saying, go for it. So I do have comments on many of these that they were okay at the time. But if they switched their mind from that point to this point, then that's something else that is new to me. But the majority I did speak to, out of the 20, I was able to speak 16 out of the 20 neighbors, at least talking to them. And at least from the 2 that I did have a kind of a idea that they weren't exactly with the plan, were at least the 2 neighbors that I actually are here. And with that, out of 16, if you take those, it'd be about 80%, 88% that were okay with the plan, what I proposed. But I do have that list of the people that I talked to and what they said in the comments.
And thank you. We're not going to go back through, but I can see where it's going to come back to. Oh, do you have a report? Do you have? No, I'm talking to the district commissioner. Do you have anything else to add after you do?
No.
And I'm sorry we don't go back around a second time. Before we bring it to the committee on a vote, you can't. A few things that might be. Actually, I'll put on the table, then I'll move it. I could put a motion to approve on the table. Motion to approve the variance as submitted on the table. The chair puts it there. And I'm going to start the discussion by saying,
I'll second this.
you don't have, this is like, you don't need, under our rules, we set it up so we don't need a second. That's, well, if you can get emails to either me, Commissioner Saucer, or actually have them emails and let them speak for themselves, that would be helpful, or bring them to the meeting, even notes to the meeting. It's always more persuasive if people speak for themselves than if someone else does. Any additional drawings, I'd say the same thing, get them, if you have better drawing. And other than that, I don't want to make any additional comments until it goes, until my colleagues in the committee have had a chance to discuss it. So it's open for discussion.
I hear a lot of what about people would do in the future. That can be said about any house, anywhere. You know, what's to stop me from turning my house into a illegal boarding house, stuff like that. I mean, anyone can do anything that they want, so I think speculating about what people can do in the future is not helpful to this discussion.
Any other comments?
Having 2 driveways that are together like yours, it kind of would make sense to me that if you had that extra driveway in front of your garages, would that take a little pressure off of the cars that are sitting in that driveway? Like, it would make more room, or you wouldn't, it would be easier to park.
So if you pull the picture that was submitted, right now, the van itself, I know that's something that I guess it's choice of the owner, a comment was made. But right now with that van being, it's taking up that space in front of the garage. I can't park anything inside the garage, and if that, at least if the van was inside or further inward in the property, I would be able to go in and out. It'd be easier. We do it now, but it would be a lot easier if it was parked inside the garage.
The 21 feet height. I think that's not out of what people have been asking for these days, given today's living, what people have. Whether they have tall SUVs and stuff like that. We've seen the height of garages go up. And I think we've approved the garage height up to 25 feet. So I don't think the 21 feet scares me.
I do have two comments that don't really go to the substance. First of all, it is if he wants to change it between now and the commission meeting, it's part of the reason we have 8 days. We used to have these meetings 2 days before the commission. Part of the reason we have 8 days is so that he can make adjustments. So that's perfectly normal. It happens all the time. In fact, that's why we have 8 days. And I also, if any commissioners are watching this or see the minutes, I want them to ask them to, once again, please go drive through the neighborhood, look, make a judgment for yourselves. Hopefully the commissioners can make judgments for themselves as to how they think this fits into the neighborhood and how this works. That's hard to do unless you at least drive down the street and look around. I'll get my thoughts on that when it comes to my turn to vote. But that's the general thing. Please, I hope the commissioners who hear this go drive down the street and at least look around, because they're going to have to say no to someone, and if they're going to say no to someone, they should at least go and look at what we're talking about. So, any other comments from the? I'm not trying to move up. Any comments from the committee or questions from the committee that you have? Okay, then, and now, just so everyone else knows, when we take the vote, committee members can make comments. Those go into the minutes so that the commissioners see all the perspectives. Quite frankly, our vote is the least important thing we do. The most important thing we do is sort through the issues, and because when it comes to the commission meeting, they aren't going to spend an hour on this. I guarantee you, they're not going to spend an hour on this. Things are going to have to move much more quickly there. But okay, I'll start over here.
Yes.
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 I'm going to vote yes, and also want to comment that I think it's very attractive. I think it's a great improvement to what you currently have there. I looked at the house online, Zillow, you can find anything, right? It's a very attractive house, and I think the garage will go nicely with the house. So yes.
And I'm going to vote yes. Also note that our two most skeptical members are not here. And that's they just both had other commitments today, and I want that. That's important to put on the record so the commissioners know that. The strongest argument against it is normally I'd say that it's the problem of it's your problem if your tree depends on your neighbor's yard for its survival. But I think here it's more of it makes more sense to at least have that as a legitimate concern, because expanding the garage is what could theoretically put the tree at risk as opposed to leaving things, expanding the footprint, and he has asked him to expand the footprint. But this also in terms of future rules, right now he would have to cheat a lot to have someone live in there. And if city council is going to change the rules, they can change the rules to let him build whatever he wants regardless of what we say. If the rules 10 years from now say an ADU can go there, an ADU can go there. I also think we typically grant variances where it fits the pitch of the roof and makes things fit better. The 15-foot height limit was in place when most houses had 1-car garages, and it looks, having a 2-car garage that's 15 feet looks a lot less, to me looks more out of place than a 20-foot 2 or 3-car garage. And I did agree on the neighborhood. I think it would be on the big side, but I don't think it's not completely out of character. It's on the bigger side for the houses, but it's not. It doesn't seem like it will stick out for a sore thumb. So it's a 6-0 recommendation to go to the commission. And I just want to tell you, no commissioner sits on this. No commissioner has voted yet. BZA hasn't voted yet. They will listen. and sometimes they disagree with us, which is fine, it's their prerogative. And that goes before the full commission, for the commission itself, I should say, on October 2nd, 2025, 7 p.m. at the Whetstone Library. So I think, unless there's anything else, any motion to adjourn? Second?
Second.
Okay, then all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Meeting adjourned at 8:02. Thank you very much, and let me turn off the recording.